If you've been watching or listening to Geek News Reviews and Opinions, then you know I've been following the madness surrounding this film for quite some time. Now, if you're watching this at a point where it's all blown over, here's a brief rundown of the events surrounding this film. Now, summer 2014, it was either June or July when we reported on the story on Geek News Reviews and Opinions. North Korea threatens military action if Sony Pictures releases the interview, citing that film as an act of war. Jump ahead to November, where Sony Pictures' computers are hacked. Not only are completed films released to the public, but a lot of internal emails and even a lot of personal information, financial information, social security numbers, etc., are released to the public. The people who perpetrated the hack identify themselves as the Guardians of Peace and threaten Sony, saying that if they release the film into theaters, the theaters showing the film can expect dire consequences, stating specifically to remember the 11th of September, which is in reference to the 9/11, the September 11th terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center that occurred back in 2001. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The CEO of Sony, not Sony Pictures, Sony, Kazuo Hirai, steps in and asks Sony Pictures not to release the film, leading to a back and forth between the representative at Sony Pictures, Kazuo Hirai, and even James Franco, all trying to negotiate and figure out what they're going to do. Jump a little bit ahead to December. They decide to basically offer and throw a bone to the movie theaters who are quite rightly terrified by the threats. They say, look, we understand you're kind of freaked out by the threats that were made. If you don't want to show this film in your theater, we won't hold it against you. Now, this plan kind of backfired because the top 5 major movie theater chains here in the US, and I'm talking Carmike, Cinemark, Cineplex, AMC, and Regal Entertainment, all decide not to show the film. And these are the top 5 major chains in the US, meaning that they own most of the theaters in the country. And really, if a bunch of theaters that are pretty much most of the theaters in the country aren't going to show your film, then it's not really a good idea to try to releasing it into theaters, prompting Sony to pull the film from its Christmas Day release date. Now, everybody kind of chimes in with their own opinions. George Clooney calls Sony a bunch of cowards. President Obama says that they should have stood their ground because we can't expect or really allow a foreign dictator to impose censorship in our country. Those are his words, not mine. And so everybody's kind of chiming off saying that it's the death of free speech. People are rallying to see the film in order to kind of stand their ground and say, hey, we won't be intimidated, and so on. So jump ahead to December 24th, 2014, Christmas Eve. Sony decides to release the film for video on demand across 3 major digital platforms: YouTube, Google Play, and Xbox Video. And they've recently added it to iTunes. I think that was today, the time this video is going up. And so, yeah, they decided to release it on demand as a nice little Christmas present to the people who actually want to see it, in addition to having certain movie theaters here in the US show the film to the public on Christmas Day, the scheduled release date, leading to this video that you are watching now. And boy, it's been one heck of a mess. And really, it's just kind of the case that nobody's really learned the lesson that we should have learned from the whole fiasco surrounding Passion of the Christ. Public controversy spurs on public curiosity, which then in turn leads to more people going and paying to see this film to see what all the hubbub is about. And frankly, after watching this film, that's really all the interview has going for it, is this controversy. So really, I don't have much else to say, but, well, this is only the intro to the video, so yeah.